what to say about Hit to Death in the future head. What to say? Yeah, this review's kinda has a reason for taking as long as it's been taking. Aside from general hang-ups with my recording software and personal issues outside of YouTube, I've tried writing this review multiple times, and every single time I've tried to write it, it's pretty much boiled down to me saying it's not bad, but it's mainly forgettable. And considering how I started this series back in January, and it is now September, and I haven't even gone past the 5th album yet, to end it on it's not that memorable would be a bit of a disservice, to say the least. So I figured I'd do something a little bit different, and rather than try to review the album as is, I'm actually going to listen to the album and tell you what I think about every single song as it happens. Of course, it's going to be edited out, you're not going to hear the songs. It's just going to be my takes on the songs when I'm done listening to them. And so I'm going to go grab my laptop, it's in the other room right now, and I'm going to go set everything up, and then I will see you after this jump cut. Alrighty, I've got my laptop set up. As you can see, I've got my playlist all situated. I'm not going to be listening to the 30-minute long hidden track at the end. My review on that is it's not worth your time, even if you're a big fan of the group. Alright, let's go. So this song, it really starts the album off pretty well, I do say. It's got its feet firmly planted in the best of both worlds at this point. The things that I love the most about Van's earliest material. And look forward into what we'd come to expect on Transmissions from the Satellite Park. It's very fun, it's very bouncy, it's very energetic. I just wish that the rest of the album was more like that, but we'll get to better. But this one, I definitely recommend you check it out. I'd give it a 5 out of 5. Next song. So Hit Me Like You Did the First Time is pretty much just a retread of what we got with talking about the Smiling Death Porn Immortality Blues. That's going to be very fun to say throughout this entire review. I'm willing to bet that. I do like it more than I remember liking it originally. I didn't really pick up on the Beatles-esque quality of the melody until just now, but I can't say that it's one of the more memorable offerings. It's not a bad song by any means, though. I would definitely give it at least a 4 out of 5. Okay, so The Sun is really where this album begins to taper off for me. It's very slow and lethargic and very underwritten. It's just a very big, drony mess. And while I do like some of the instrumentational choices, like the string section that's going on in parts, overall it just feels like a big dud to me. This song is just the band messing around in the studio and trying to waste some time. It's definitely not one I'd gravitate towards listening to. I'll give it a 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5. Okay, Felt Good to Burn is easily the worst song on this album so far. It's even more slower and lethargic than The Sun, and even more underwritten than The Sun. They seem to try to bank this one on the backwards delay reverb that's going on throughout the whole track, but I just find it extraordinarily obnoxious to listen to. And I don't like skipping tracks on albums. If I'm listening from front to back, I'd like to listen from front to back, but honestly, if I ever do sit through this album again, that's one I'm definitely skipping, and I'd have to give it a 1 out of 5. My main issue with the album so far is that there's just not a lot to grasp onto. With In a Priest-Driven Ambulance, the band had proven that they can really drive a hook home, and the whole album is memorable. You're not really getting that here. You're just getting the band falling back on old habits. It's just kind of disconcerting, to be perfectly honest. But we're not even halfway through yet. Let's get on with the next track, Ginger Ale Afternoon, The Astrology of a Saturday. Well, whatever druggy haze they were on with the last few songs, they finally kicked out of that. Ginger Ale Afternoon, The Astrology of a Saturday is so fun, upbeat, rockin', energetic. It's such a grand, fun time, and that's something that the majority of this album is definitely missing. And it's so refreshing to hear something like this. Refreshing as a nice ginger ale on a Saturday afternoon. I could make the argument that it's probably the best song on the album, but I do like talking about Smiling Death Porn. Immortality Blues, really wish I could just call it death porn, but that's not professional, now is it? None of this reviews. 5 out of 5, no questions about it. Now, Halloween on the Barbary Coast is one a lot of fans seem to gravitate towards when it comes to this album, and while I do understand to an extent fans would feel that way, the song's not really doing it for me. This album already has more than enough slow burn material that doesn't really do much, doesn't really go anywhere, and it seems like it's just missing something. I don't know what I can't really put my finger on it. Basically, when I have tracks like, up until this point anyway, I've got tracks like UFO Story and Unconsciously Screaming, I would rather listen to those. Those are more interesting and more compelling. And while I understand this one's going for more atmosphere over substance, and I do admit I'm a sucker for the atmosphere, this one just doesn't grab a hold of me. I hate constantly reusing the same points, but it's... Hit to Death in the Future Head is boring me to death in the now head. This is why I don't do shit on the spot, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I heavily edit my videos. Fuck it. We're doing it live. Okay, so this one's a bit of a weird contradiction of sorts because I'm over here saying how, oh, the album really needs a pep in its step and the album really needs some energy. But this song's not doing it for me whatsoever. It's energetic, it's got a lot of power, it's got a lot of charisma, but it's almost unlistenable. It's so out of tune and everything just it's clashing against each other. It refuses to work well in any way, shape, or form. I don't know about that one. Oh my god. I don't remember it ever being that... You gotta understand, I've listened to this album many, many times, and sometimes you just need a bit of a refresher. Wow. I didn't need that. I'm gonna have to give that a 1 out of 5. Unfortunately, we got 2 1 out of 5s on this album. It's not looking good for the average. But we've still got 3 songs. Let's be optimistic. I know one of them is fantastic, but we'll get to that. But next, we've got... The worst part is that because of this song, the album was delayed release by a year or so. They had to clear a sample in it. That sample's probably the worst fucking part of this song because it does not fit well at all with the instrumentation. It's another slow burner, and it's even sparser in instrumentation than Felt Good to Burn. And all of a sudden, this weird reverse orchestration thing pops in at times. It's... Guys, what are you doing? What are you doing? Just because you record it, it does not mean you have to put it on the album. And I don't understand how they could have listened to that and said, yes, we want that on our album. I'm actually a little bit pissed off right now because of this song. I'm not gonna kid. I'm not gonna lie. Fuck me. 0.5 out of 5. Fuck that. Fuck that. Holy shit. Yes. Yes. Fogs is a definite 5 out of 5. I don't even need to review it. It's easily the best fucking thing on this entire album. Oh my god, something about the song is like, it's just hooky. It's got hooks for days. It's one of my favorite things to say, and it totally applies with this one. It's got hooks for days, man, and that's the one thing about Flaming Lips that I absolutely adore, is when they got a hook, and they hook you in, god damn do they keep you hooked. And this song just really gets me hyped. It's one of the very, very few things that makes me excited to listen to this album. It's a damn shame the band never actually plays anything from this era of their career live anymore, because holy shit, this would be so fucking fantastic live, especially with their live performances now. Oh my god. You kidding me? Frogs is a 5 out of 5. Best song on the album. Let's go to the last song. I'd rather just listen to Frogs again, but I got a review to do. Hold Your Head. And so the album ends with Hold Your Head. The one thing I can always applaud the Flaming Lips with is they always end their albums strongly. And Hold Your Head is definitely a strong ending. It's not one of the most intricate songwriting experiences. It's another one of those ambience over substance kind of tracks, but this one definitely worked. It's got this melancholy, almost funeral march-esque quality to it, and it just builds and builds. It's very powerful, and it's very it captures something that the rest of the album in its lower parts fails, and I can't really put my finger on it exactly why I gravitate towards this more than the rest. Probably because it's an album closer that sounds like an album closer. Everything's got a nice reverb drenched sheen over it, and everything about it just closes the album nicely. And yeah, I'd have to give it a 4.5 out of 5. Alright, so I'm gonna have to try to make this quick because my camera's running out of space. What do I think of Hit to Death in the Future Head? Well, I'd have to give it a 3 out of 5. It's a very mixed bag, has some very low lows, but it also has some pretty high highs. I would have to recommend you listen to Frogs, talk about the Smiling Deathborn Immortality Blues, Ginger Ale Afternoon, maybe like you did the first time. I'd recommend that. And Hold Your Head. I'd steer clear of pretty much everything else on this album. No. It's not a bad album by any means, but it's very mixed. And it's not reminiscent of what I came to know and love the band for. So, with that said, hope you enjoyed the review. Hopefully it wasn't too exhausting to sit through. I'm sorry for making you wait. Really sorry. Should definitely have the next review out pretty soon. And yeah, I'll see you all soon. Hope you have a great day. Don't be a stranger. Comment below. Links in the description. Have a great day. Bye.